Hello and welcome to your IT induction at TUS, the Technological University of the Shannon, Midlands, Midwest. My name is Sarah Lacomber and I'm joined by Rossa Coleman. We're here on the Athlone campus today as part of your induction, and we're going to be walking you through, well, I should say Rossa's going to be walking you through a few tech bits. I'm only here to ask the questions. So I'll hand it over to Rossa.
Thank you very much, Sarah, and to all the students who are joining us in TUS this coming semester. You're all very welcome.
It's very exciting. We're delighted to welcome you.
I'm going to cover some IT tips with respect to what new students should know, and also how students can complete the registration process, which is quite important.
Well, that's a very important one, yeah.
So just to list off what we're going to cover today, we're going to cover off the difference between the terms Midlands and Midwest. We'll cover some third level educational terms that might be unfamiliar to students coming from second level. We'll cover the central web page for all students from an IT perspective, which is known as the My Apps page. We're going to cover some examples of the applications that are available to students. We'll cover the more important ones. How to access that My Apps page, and how to access the My Account page, and how to change your password as a student. And then we'll cover some detail on on-campus computer facilities. And
I think the good thing, Rossa, is people can play back this video, and there's also resources available online if people prefer to read through the instructions as
Absolutely,
well.
there certainly is.
Yeah,
on the TUS website and on various documents that are being sent out to students as well.
Okay, super.
So the first thing is simply to explain the difference between Midlands and Midwest. Midlands refers to Athlone, so if you're a student who will be attending the Athlone campus, you're a Midlands student.
Okay.
All other students who attend any other campus of TUS are Midwest students.
Okay.
And the difference in their student numbers, every student will get a student number. If you're a Midlands student and you're attending Athlone, your student number will begin with an A.
Oh, that's helpful. A for Athlone.
That's right.
Great.
If you're a Midwest student, your student number begins with a K. So those student numbers are 8 digits long, so with the letter in front. So for example, A00123456 or K00123456.
Okay.
Moving on to some third level educational terms. The first term I'm going to explain is faculty. So TUS is divided into faculties. So a faculty might be engineering, it might be science, it might be business. It's a high-level organisation within TUS that's responsible for academic delivery, for lecturing and teaching students. A faculty is subdivided into departments. So each faculty in TUS has between 3 and 4 departments, and they specialise in that area a little bit further. The next term then is course. So all students are studying a course in TUS. Each course will have a title and it'll also have a course code. So if you might be studying, for example, a BSc in science, that's your course. And those courses then, the content of what you're taught within those courses in secondary school would be known as subjects. You might have studied English, Irish, Maths, Spanish, science, whatever. In college, the word course is replaced with the word module. So we refer to courses of study in third level as modules.
Okay, so let me understand that. I was a student here in TUS back in the day, and I was in the faculty of business. I was studying graphic design, that was my department, and my course was graphic design.
Yes, and within that you would have studied modules.
Modules, exactly. Yeah, so whether it was typography or whatever, they were my subjects within my course.
Okay, so that's just to explain those terms. Moving on to the My Apps page. So why am I putting so much emphasis on this? I have a graphical representation of it here. The My Apps page is short for My Applications. Okay. So students in TUS have access to quite a number of student applications. They're all represented here with little icons and names underneath them. They're listed alphabetically for ease of finding whatever one you're looking for. And no matter what application you want to get to, this is the page that you should go to first and then go to the application that you want thereafter. I'm going to call out some of the more important ones from this list. So the first one is what's called Banner, because it begins with a B. It's probably going to be at the start. And that's for completing your online registration, and also if you need to pay fees to the college, you will do it through the Banner app. And it's purple in colour, and it's up there in the top left corner.
So that's for all the official administration stuff, isn't it?
Exactly.
Is that also for where you get your exam results?
Yes, exam results as well, exactly.
Okay, so that's an important one.
It is. We have a department within the college called Registration Department, and that department deals with offering students their offers through the CAO and following through on that entire registration process, student fees, and as you say, exam results as well.
Perfect.
Next one up is library. So again, listed here alphabetically. If you click in there, you can get access to all of the library, the resources that the library offers. The next one is probably the most important one of all, and it's orange. There are two here in this case.
Is that the one with the little graduation cap on it, the M?
On an M,
okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
So that's Moodle. Now Moodle is referred to a virtual learning environment. Now what the hell is that? That's simply a place, an online location where lecturers will put notes for all of their students. So when you attend a lecture, normally the lecturer will put the notes that he or she uses, be they PowerPoint or Word documents, onto Moodle for you where you can access. So ML stands for Midlands. So if you're Midland students, you click on this one. And if you're in the Midwest, you click on the MW one. So that's Moodle, probably the most important of all the applications. The next one I'm going to touch on is one called OneDrive.
That's the little cloud here, is it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a blue cloud symbol.
Okay.
What OneDrive is, it's a location provided individually for each student to to store all of their files.
Oh, great.
So rather than carrying around files on a USB or a flash drive, which we don't recommend because you may lose them and lose a lot of work that you put time into projects and so on.
I've been guilty of that.
I think most students have.
Yeah.
Save all your files to OneDrive.
Okay.
Go in there, create a folder for each of your modules, save all of your files.
And get in the
there.
habit of doing that rather than putting things on your desktop.
Definitely, and you will save yourself heartache if you ever, because you won't lose stuff that's saved in there. Excellent. And all of this page and all of the applications therein are accessible via any internet connection.
And I do know a good thing about that little cloud, that OneDrive, is that stays with you throughout your time in Tooth.
Yes.
So the notes you put up there, or draft assignments, or research or resources, links to resources, if you have those all there, it'll stay with you throughout your time.
It stays there until after you graduate.
Excellent.
Next one up is what's called, the name on it is Outlook,
Okay.
but that's simply the name for email. So all students have their own individual student email account, as staff do as well. So if you click on Outlook, it'll open up, and there you can see any emails that you will get into your student account. And it's important that students check that on a daily basis.
Absolutely.
In case faculty or their department or departments such as registration want to contact them about anything that's important.
So all the official communication will go on there. So it's not good enough to say, I didn't get it.
Correct.
It'll be there, and it's your responsibility. So you may have another email account, but it's your responsibility to check that on a regular basis.
Exactly, and all official communication will be sent to that rather than any private email account that you have. Next one up that I've called out here is one called Top-Up Mobile Printing. So we have a centralized printing facility throughout all the campuses. So as a student, if you want to print off a document, you need to put credit on your student card. The way you do that is you click the Top-Up Mobile Printing, you add credit in there, and then you can send a job from a computer on campus to any of those online printers.
So you can pick it up anywhere then, your job,
any
your
of those
print
student
job.
printers, there's a slot for your student card, you put it in, assuming you have enough credit, you can print off the document.
Brilliant.
And the last one then that I'm going to refer to is called Microsoft Teams. That's a bit like for taking online meetings or online lectures. Zoom and Teams, we use both, mainly Teams. A lecturer may decide to do a lecture online, and if they do, they'll use Teams.
I think a lot of people are familiar with that from school as well at this stage.
Yes, certainly students who would have gone through the online teaching during COVID.
Recently, yeah.
So the myapps.microsoft.com page, how do you get to this page? And you get to it by going to any web browser. Now, even though you can go to any web browser, we do recommend that you use the Microsoft Edge web browser.
It works better on that one, does it?
It's more seamless because Microsoft Edge is a Microsoft product.
Ah, that makes sense, yeah.
All of our student IT facilities, the student accounts, are hosted on Microsoft, so Edge works more seamlessly.
So we're a Microsoft house here.
We certainly are. Now, it doesn't mean that you can't browse to it on other browsers. You certainly can, but it's just a more integrated experience if you're using Microsoft Edge. So if you open up any browser and you just type in those letters, you don't have to type in anything else, myapps.microsoft.com. Will that get you to this page? Well, it will after you can verify you are who you say you are.
Well, of course, yeah.
So that page is obviously protected by security, and you can only get to your My Apps page. I can only get to my Apps page. So how does the system determine which one to serve you and which one to serve me? Well, we have an identity on Microsoft. Our identity consists of a username. So our usernames as students are our student number. So let's say my student number is A00123456, and then that's followed by @student.tus.ie. So A00123456 @student.tus.ie.
And that becomes your email address?
Exactly. That's your email address, and it's your username for logging in to your My Apps page.
Great.
So if you type in myapps.microsoft.com, what you'll actually be served with is this page here, which is the Microsoft sign-in page. So at this point in time, Microsoft knows you're trying to access a My Apps page, but it has no idea which organization you're with. It doesn't know whether you're a student, whether you're a business, anywhere in the world. So by typing in your student number, let's say it's K00123456 @student.tus.ie. Once you type that in and you click next, now, okay, because of the @student.tus.ie, Microsoft now knows, okay, this person is trying to get to the TUS My Apps page. Exactly. So after you put the username in, then you're taken to this screen, which is TUS specific. As you can see here, this is
branded and everything.
Branded, exactly. This one isn't because they don't
That's
know we're trying
Microsoft,
to get to TUS.
yeah.
So you have to put your password in. Now, when the students receive their registration pack, their password will be written on it. To make life easy, we've set the initial password for all students to be their 8-digit date of birth. So if you were born on the 14th of June, 2002, it would be 14 for the date, 06 for the month, and then 2002.
The full year, the full 4 digits.
The full 4 digits of the year.
Okay.
So you'll put that in here to get past the password challenge. Once you're past that, then on the first time that you're trying to access the My Apps page, you're going to get what's called the initial MFA setup page. Now, MFA stands for multi-factor authentication. That's a bit of a mouthful. You'll be told more information is required. Now, what's happening there is we know that in the world that we live in today with cybercrime and so much of a threat, we need to protect all our accounts with more than just a password.
So multi-factor, it's like what it says on the tin. It's a double check.
Exactly.
To make sure you are who you are and you're not a bot and you're not a hacker and you're not anything else.
Exactly. Yeah. And that you need to set that up before you can access this for the first time. Okay. You only need to set it up once, and then every time thereafter you're challenged for MFA. So we have a video explaining exactly how to set that up. So I'm not going to go through the specific details now, just to say that you will need a smartphone. It can be Android, it can be iOS, it doesn't matter. And the specific app that you need to put on your smartphone is called the Microsoft Authenticator app.
Okay.
Now, Google also have an Authenticator app, and there are other Authenticator apps.
Sure, I know my bank has an Authenticator app, for example.
There you go. They won't do. To get into the My Apps page, you need the Microsoft Authenticator app. So there's a link to that video that shows you exactly the steps to take in order to set up MFA before getting into your account. And that'll be sent out to all students, and it's also available on the TUS website on the help pages, which we'll cover later in the presentation.
And I know once you set it up, you're away in a hack.
Once you set it up, then it's easy to get in thereafter.
Yeah.
What will happen thereafter is, instead of being challenged to set it up, when you're logging in, after you put your password in successfully, it'll give you a 2-digit number. You'll open up the Microsoft Authenticator app, punch in the 2 digits, and that will verify that you are who you say you are.
And to be fair, Rossa, most things work that way. I know Netflix, any of those accounts, they want you to verify, and they'll send you a verification code.
Exactly.
So if you're used to that kind of stuff, it shouldn't be too difficult.
Shouldn't be too onerous.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Now, obviously, if you lose your phone, you have to set up from scratch, but the IT departments are here to help you with that.
Yeah.
So moving on, oh,
Ross, I have an important question.
Sure.
And this is a nice one. The good news is that when people are coming to college and they might be organising a laptop for themselves, we do have access to software, don't we, as a TUS student? You don't have to pay for additional software.
Well, you have access to all of the apps here in my apps, and that includes the applications that are contained within the Microsoft Office suite.
Yeah.
So Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, Microsoft PowerPoint,
yeah.
They're listed here as the app, so you can use those. Now, as a student, you can also download Microsoft Office to your own laptop for free. We have instructions on how to do that. I'm not going to cover it here today because I'm covering so much.
Yeah.
But students can put a call on the help desk or check the pages on the website down here, which will offer instructions on how you can download your free version of Microsoft Office if you're a student.
Okay. Can I mention a quick note about the laptops? For people who qualify for additional financial support, you may also qualify for the laptop on loan scheme, and the details of that are available through your local library. And I know your department, Rossa, works closely with the library around wiping and getting the laptops ready for people and all that stuff.
Correct.
So do check that out.
Very good.
Yeah.
Thanks for that. Now, another word on security, and that is, a lot of our friends might know our birthday. So having your date of birth as your password isn't very secure. So it's very important for students to change their password after they log in for the first time. So I'm just going to talk through how to do that now. So again, the My Apps page, very, very important. In the top left corner here, My Apps is written with a little down arrow here.
Oh, I see that, yeah.
When you click that down arrow, you get a drop-down list of 4 options.
Yeah.
One of those options is My Account.
Okay.
And if you click My Account, then you're served with this page. This is the My Account page. And in here is where there are security settings that you can look at. For example, you can look at your sign-ins to make sure that you're the only person signing into your account. There's an option for password. There's an option for security info.
Okay.
In order to change your password, which you definitely should do.
Highly recommended.
Do it now. You can click on Change Password. This is being removed by Microsoft in the near future, but people can also do it by clicking on Security Info, clicking Update Information, Update Info link here, and once they do that, then they get this screen where there's an option to change their password. So please,
and that'll be self-explanatory because people are used to doing that, changing passwords.
Please change it from your date of birth. Don't leave it at that. It's too insecure in this world of cybercrime that we live in today.
Okay.
So just to explain some of the on-campus IT facilities that we have, all of the campuses have Wi-Fi for students to use.
Okay.
So it's a free service, but you do need to authenticate. You do need to put in your username and your password. Like
we discussed here?
Yes, your student username and your password to access that free Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi is called EduRoam. It's 2 syllables, and it's short for educational roaming. Now, that's an international service, and if you have a login to EduRoam, which you will as a TUS student, you can actually access that same service in any third-level college throughout the world. Not only that, EduRoam is also being rolled out to public libraries across Ireland and hospitals. So you may well, if you're unfortunate enough to be in a hospital or in a library, you may see EduRoam available to you as a Wi-Fi service there, and you can access it there as well. Once you change your password here, then that changes your password, obviously,
across the board
for Wi-Fi as well.
Yes.
So if you do this first, then you'll never have to change it for Wi-Fi, because once you save it to your phone, it's okay. It'll remember it from there on. So as well as Wi-Fi on campus, there are computers available for students to use on all of the campuses. Some of the bigger campuses have student computer centres, which are often referred to as open access, which is an old name. And those places will have technicians and helpers available.
People to help you.
Exactly, for students with any issues that they may have.
So I suppose on your local campus, as you're learning to find your way around and know where the toilet is and the printers and all that, one of the things you should do is find out what the local facilities are on site.
What the local facilities. So as I said, the bigger campuses will have bigger rooms with up to 100
serving much more
computers in them.
people.
Yes, but all of them will have services for students and IT and so on. So when you're logging into a computer on campus, there are many computer labs in addition to the student computer lab. The difference is the student computer labs are not timetabled. So if you're free at 11 o'clock on a Monday or 2 p.m. on a Thursday, you can go into the student computer lab and use a computer in there, no problem at all. When you're logging onto those computers, or when you're logging onto a computer in a lab, again, you have
for a class.
Exactly. You have to put in your username and your password. Now, in this case, the username that you need to put in is your student number, but you don't have to add in the @student.tus.ie.
Ah, okay.
Now, if you put that in, you'll still get in anyway, but you don't have to.
Okay.
And again, you use that same password. If you've changed it down here, which you should have, then obviously use the changed version of that password.
To log on.
That'll log you into any computer, any student computer on campus, on any of the campuses that we have. So that's fairly straightforward. And again, go to those larger centres if you have trouble. So we already spoke about printing, and the printing service includes photocopying and scanning as well. So if you need to scan a document or you need a photocopy, you can do that as well. We also have a mobile print option. If you need to print a document maybe from your phone or from your personal laptop, you can email that document as an attachment to the email address mobileprint@tus.ie, and after 3 or 4 minutes you can go to a printer and print it off from that. So there's a mobile print service as well as printing documents off from a TUS computer.
So I'm going to behave like myself, which is that I start to get overwhelmed with lots of instructions. So I know, though, that the great part is that all of this is available on the website, isn't it?
Exactly. So we have a screenshot over here of the TUS website, and in the top middle there's a tab called Student Hub. When you click on Student Hub, this page opens, and in there we have a link to Student Apps Portal. That's simply a link to the My Apps page.
Great.
And then underneath that, we have Athlone Student Hub and Midwest Student Hub. So because the organisation, I guess, is made up of those two main parts, when you click on Athlone Student Hub, you'll get into the Athlone specific details and help of, say, how to access.
In locally, yeah.
Locally, and Midwest for Midwest. So in Athlone, we have pages in here to help students, guidance documents referring to, how to print, how to scan, that type of thing. There's also a link to the student IT help form. So if you need IT assistance, one option is to go to the Student Computer Centre and ask there, or fill out the form. In the Midwest, there's an email address that students can email for assistance, or they can go to the open access areas within their specific campuses and seek assistance there as well.
Now, I know sometimes we get queries in student support services where people say, I can't log it on the help desk because I'm not able to use multi-factor authentication. What's your answer to that?
Okay, so you can log anything on the help desk without ever even receiving your password. What I mean is, there's no authentication challenge for logging something on the help desk form. You simply put in your username, your student name, your username, your phone number, and so on, and we'll get back to you and assist you in whatever way we can. Now, it's important to say that our help, our IT help, is restricted to campus type IT facilities.
Okay.
If you have a problem with your personal smartphone,
with your own phone,
that's not
or your
related
own
to your
laptop.
college work, then we can't assist with that. But the MFA is probably the area where people will have most issues.
Initially, until they're set up anyway.
Correct.
Yeah.
And we can help with that, but please
Try your best to follow the steps.
follow the steps.
Yeah.
If you follow the steps, you'll get through it. Or
Rossa, if I can follow the steps, I think that would take care of a lot of people.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Hey, you're agreeing with me.
Well,
you know me well.
yes.
Okay.
No, look, you're right. I guess the point is some people try to jump ahead or try to do
Yeah.
it too fast.
Yeah.
One really important point, when you're setting up MFA initially, you cannot do it on a smartphone alone. You need a laptop or a computer.
Two devices.
And a smartphone.
2 devices.
Yes,
Okay.
well, one has to be the smartphone that the
Okay.
Authenticator app is on,
Okay.
and the other one can be a computer.
So
or a
before
laptop.
you sit down to do it, rather than get frustrated, your toolkit needs to be a smartphone plus a computer device.
Yes, on your initial login.
Yeah.
On your initial setup of MFA, should I say. After that, then
Yeah.
you don't need 2 devices.
And you're able to navigate to it directly on your mobile phone thereafter,
Yes,
which is
yes.
very handy if you're on the move.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
everything available here is
Yeah.
available through smartphone as well.
Great.
So that pretty much concludes it. I know
So
I
to-
haven't covered everything.
Yeah,
but
well, look, this is an introduction. This is your IT session, and the best way to do it is to suck it and see, and you have to get in there and start pulling apart the documents, the supporting information, play back this video if and when you need to, or pieces of it. I love the terminology piece at the beginning, because people don't always know what a faculty is, and we assume that you do, but we're used to those terms. Fantastic. So I know everybody within computing services is just as friendly and helpful and clear and
don't know about
concise
that.
as you are, Rossa. So Rossa is representing computing services here today. And if you're stuck with anything at all, just go to student support services as well, and we'll be able to signpost you to where you need to go. You'll never be stuck when you come to TUS.